Just a couple things as we kick it off. If any of you that have been on any of our events in the past, there's on the right-hand side, there's a chat bar. Feel free to ask questions. Now, I will give you a bit of a heads up though. There is like enough content probably in this webinar that we could do 5 or 6 or 7 different events. I can tell that Sam's got a lot to share, but he's got incredibly good stuff to share. So we'll do our best to go through all your questions. I know you're going to have them, especially as we kick off. So yeah, just ask them on the right-hand side. Now, something to keep in mind as we go through this is that all of you, if you're attending this webinar, as soon as I stop speaking here, we're going to be moving very quickly. So if you're doing something else, just give us your attention. I'll tell you what, give us your attention for at least 15 minutes. See what you think if you want to continue, because there's so much good stuff that I know we're going to get you hooked in. But at the same time, if you're actually going to be attending this event, attend it, pay attention, because it's going to be a lot to learn, and I'm going to be moving through pretty quick. So what I'll do is I'm just going to introduce Sam really quick. I think for all of you, just to set the stage, he has been in the business since February 20th. So keep that in mind when you see what he's doing, what he's done, and clearly where you can see where his business is going. So yeah, let's just kick it off. So I think the first thing that I wanted to just share here as I introduce Sam is, if you got two big skills that I'm noticing right out of the gate are content and marketing. Now, maybe just take a moment to share a little bit of background. How did you develop some of those early skills prior to jumping into real estate?
Oh man, there's a video link on the on my website that talks about it. But man, I came from the oil and gas world, and as you know, oil and gas is very up and very down. When it's a feast, it's a feast, and when it's a famine, you are just scraping for work. And back in about 2009, right after Lehman Brothers crashed and it took down the whole market, and I went from $95,000 a year oil gig to zero, like zip, nothing. And I was sitting on the couch one night. I'm like, man, where's my Ferrari? I work real hard. Where's my Lamborghini? So I literally typed in how to make money on the internet, and it led me down a lot of rabbit holes. And I ended up
a few sites. I'm sure they got some hits on that.
Well, if you want to make money on the internet, look up. He's another Canadian, actually. His name's Will Hamerl, PPC Coach. There was a platform there, and he had a forum. It was a paid forum, and I learned affiliate marketing from PPC Coach. I learned how to build landing pages. I learned how to run traffic. I learned how to do just a host of stuff just from my curiosity and wanting to make money online. And I went back to oil and gas. I was only out of work for about 6 weeks, but it planted that little seed in me. I knew there was money on the internet, and I just went after it and went after it and went after it. Marketing, I started with a book by I think his name was Drew Whitman, Cashvertising. One of the first marketing books I started with. It's all about headline and copy and how to draw people in, and it kind of spiraled from there. It just became a little, almost an obsession in selling stuff online. And before they changed the banking regulations on rebillable content stuff, I think in 2016 we did about 3.2 million in sales online, just on some products that we had. And I sold that after the banking regs changed, and it made it harder to run online traffic. But I knew from then on I'd got enough marketing experience. And one of the main reasons I picked real estate, because I wanted to build something tangible offline that was an asset. Whereas online, once something's gone, once something's done, it's very much in the moment. It's built and it's gone, and it's built and it's gone. And the thing with real estate for me was it's a very solid chance to build a tangible brick and mortar offline business that has an asset, that has a value that I can sell, which is why you'll find out none of my stuff is Samuel Smith Realtor, like none of it. It's all branded to get to a point where I have an asset that is tangible. So
that's awesome. I mean, and I think an event on that alone, just in terms of like the structure and how you're building your business, I think could be super valuable. So thanks for sharing that. And I think what's really interesting for everybody that's on this event is that, Sam's bringing a huge amount of background within internet marketing. So when you see what he's done with his website and how he's working his leads, I think this is going to be really interesting. So for those of you that are attending this event right now, some of you are obviously our clients. You're already running seller campaigns. You're looking for sellers specifically on Facebook. For some of you that are attending this event, maybe you're just kind of curious what this is all about. So let's just jump into this for a moment and show you what Sam does on his own website specifically, and then we're going to jump into the StreetText side with his lead. So, Sam, if you don't mind, maybe share your screen, and I just want to walk through a couple things specifically that you did.
Do you see the Facebook page first or the website first?
No, do your Facebook business page.
Okay, let me turn this on real quick. All right, you'll see that.
So we just as a company, we were just at the Facebook developer conference, and being there, and I mean, there's a lot of controversy and stuff around Facebook, but as we were there, we were just overwhelmed again with the power of social. And literally, Facebook is just covering 1% of what they're planning on doing in the world of connecting people, and it's a pretty exciting time. And for those of you that are just getting started with a Facebook business page, Sam has laid out a perfect example of what it looks like to start to really build a great following. So, Sam, maybe just kind of walk us through a couple key components that you have on your page before we go into the local areas.
Okay, first thing is obviously the header video. It's a strong video. It's branded, and it shows shots from around town. Now, none of this stuff is stolen from anywhere. These are all shots that I took with my cameras, and I edited, and I shot all of it. I went out and I did the work, but I have something unique that nobody else has and nobody else can touch. So that's the first thing that pulls these guys in. And we are in 2 towns, so I've got to rank for College Station and Bryan. But when you go around and put unique content up, it gives people a hook. It draws them in. It's not just a static image. They want to see the next image and the next image. So I use my Facebook page as pretty much an everything hub. So like, for example, there's a photo gallery of a listing, and then there's my videos. I'm super video strong. So I do videos for just about everything. This one I will mute for you all, but it is, again, it's branded, it's introduction stuff. And yeah, I had to learn to edit video, sure. And I had to pay a buddy to stand and hold the camera, sure. But it's a complete video about what I do, and it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. It provides instant validation of me and my brand. And if you don't have a strong video or Facebook page or even web page, it doesn't have to be a website, just a web page. If you've nothing strong to send people to, the first question people often have is, well, why should I hire you? And by showing them the stuff that I've got, the stuff that I've built, it instantly validates me as a professional. It gets around the fact that I've got 0 stars on Zillow and that I've got 2 5-star ratings on Facebook. It gets around that by showing them and using the Facebook page as a portal to validate my experience and my listings and everything else. There is no way to get local knowledge other than to go around locally and get it. You can't beat that.
That's so amazing that, like, literally, like, you don't have to wait until you've got all of the business so you can go and get all the reviews. You can just start. And I know, like, probably some of you, when you're taking a look at this already, you're seeing, like, oh my goodness, how do I even get started with video? How do I even do possibly what Sam has done? Maybe, Sam, what did it take for you to get into video? And then we're going to talk about some of the strategies that you use around it.
I got into video because I was enjoying flying my drone, and I was doing some video marketing. I was taking time off from the internet thing after I sold my last company, and I was flying my drone and enjoying it, and I was enjoying creating content. I was enjoying that creative outlet, but I was always flying for other people. And then I thought, I really want to learn how to do this myself. And I'd been running around kind of video and stuff on my last trip to England, and my little sister lost the footage that the videographer shot at her wedding. Well, I'd been running around at the wedding, and I thought, well, you know what? If I don't try now, I'll never try again. And I bought Premiere Pro, and I struggled and struggled and struggled. And what got me into video was knowing that there was a need for it in the real estate business, and knowing that if I didn't have video, I would be behind the guys that did. So I just learned it. And it wasn't easy. It is now. But I think my first video was about 3 minutes long, and it took me about 3 weeks. I mean, it's not an easy process, but the second video took about 3 days, and now I can knock out videos in under 2 hours.
That's amazing.
It's just a matter of having the patience to do it.
No, that's awesome. I mean, and just learning those skills, like you said, it's a struggle at first, but then once you have them, now you just have that as part of your tool belt. So for those of you, we're going to jump into the StreetText stuff in just a moment, but because so many agents are targeting a local area when they're trying to attract new sellers, specifically on Facebook, I want to show you some of the things that Sam has done. So Sam, if you don't mind, maybe just go to your website and show how, like, your local areas.
Okay, so this is one of my websites. But this one's set up on lead capture stuff as well. So for local areas, I generated a couple of different things. First off, there's no good school zone map. There's 2 cities here in town. There's Bryan and College Station, and then the county. So there's no good place to go for an ISD map. And then you've got your elementary schools, your middle schools. They've all got slightly different boundaries. So I enjoy maps and mapping, so the first thing I did was put together a page with a map on it, and then the second thing I had to do was record a video right there that showed people how to use the map. But I'll jump over to the map right now. Basically, if you come over into the thing here, you see I added subdivisions. I added 55 subdivisions, which were the major ones in town. And then obviously the subdivision outlines that I drew, and then elementary school zones. And then what else do you want to see? You want to see schools, you want to see churches. So I built the information into the map. So when you click on any of these, it will tell you about the subdivision. It links you out to a YouTube video on the subdivision that I made, the market report page for the subdivision. And then if you click on the school zone, it'll take you to the school, and you click on that and get all the school information as well. So by building this, yeah, it took time. It took a lot of time, but I also paired this with this page on the website, which is the subdivision overview page. There's my website, if you want to check it out, is livingcollegestation.com. I can't believe the domain was available, to be honest, but there it is. And if you look here, there's about 55 subdivisions that I've been through, and been to each and every one of them. And let's just click on, I don't know, let's click on Brandon Heights over here. And we can see there, so first off, I've got I set up the search. I drew the polygons on my map, so it will pull all the listings in the subdivision. Then I wrote an overview about the schools and everything else. And then there's a video about Brandon Heights. Then there's another link to the map, and then there's a gallery there. And also I dumped if you look right here, that's a lead capture for selling your home. There's links out to the other subdivisions. There's why to use us. And then there's the live Facebook feed and the sidebar as well, just to keep people entertained and try and keep them in the traffic loop. Because once you get a click, you want to retain it. You want to give them something else to click. You want to keep them as engaged as possible. So while I was building the content for the map was really a byproduct of the website. I needed the content for the website. I needed to be a local expert. I needed to understand these subdivisions. And the only way I was going to understand the subdivisions was by driving around them all, photographing them, preparing market reports, and looking at those particular subdivisions. So in the video here, it's just muted real quick, but if it'll play, my intro is the same on all the videos, and then you see me standing in front of the subdivision. The beard was a little thicker back then. And then my drone footage. I'm a licensed drone operator, and I love it. And no other realtor in town is doing this with any subdivision. So go get yourself a drone, spend $500 on a drone, spend $120 on the license, and set yourself apart. Get a unique selling point. You don't have to pay a drone operator $600 a video. If you look at the amount of video content on there, if you'd had to pay a professional for it, just with my website launch, you're looking at probably $90,000 in videos. And I did it all because nobody told me I couldn't. And that's the kind of content. It's all HD. I'm not sure that you can see that on there. It's all color corrected. I ran everything through Premiere Pro, which I had, again, no experience of using. And at the peak, I was knocking out 4 of these a day from raw footage. So anybody can learn to do it. And really, it took me under 3 weeks to edit down all of these videos. And
awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And then probably for some of you, you're thinking, oh my goodness, where do I even start? Well, because you're typically focused on one area, like look at what Sam's doing. Even if you only did one neighborhood, this is probably the most powerful part of all of that. So maybe show what you said, like you're fairly new in the business, people aren't going to necessarily find you when they're searching, but show us what you showed me earlier on that image search.
Now, when you look at Brandon Heights, when people are wanting Brandon Heights results, and remember, most people are searching mobile, so this isn't actually going to show up. But there I am on the first page of Google for Brandon Heights in College Station. And the same with every stuff.
But because of your video, right?
Yeah, the video's ranking it. But then when you click images for Brandon Heights, oh, look who's everywhere. And then when you click videos for Brandon Heights, there I am, there I am, there I am, there I am. Do you see? So the entire first page of Google is all my videos. And it wasn't difficult, it just takes time. And they are all ranking because of YouTube. And keywords. I mean, it's just a matter of putting in the work. And when you search Edelweiss Gardens, there I am. Castlegate, there I am. These are the most popular subdivisions in town. There's probably 130, 140 subdivisions. I just picked the most popular 55 to start. As I expand, I will get out of the office a little more and go and catch up and eventually, my 18-month goal is to have videos on as many of these 130, 140, 150, whatever subdivisions as I can, just for the organic ranking. And it's not going to rank immediately. This is a 6-month process for ranking. I built a site about 18 months ago, and just now I'm getting 2 to 3 leads a week for aerial photography and aerial video from the site, and I've done nothing to it since building it. And my goal here is to have this just percolate organically, just from making videos, and it's going to rank me on videos and images. And you forget that when people search on their phones for stuff, they see a couple of Google results, they see a Google map result, and then they see video and image results. So you don't have to rank in the top 5 of Google. You have to rank in the top 5 for images and videos. And then if you can rank up there for maps as well, which is something I'm working on. Maybe I'll get to talking about it in a different webinar. But the maps is a little more tricky. It's a little more complex. But once you crack ranking for videos and images, I mean, organically this brings in 3, 4, 5 leads a week as it is. They're not strong leads yet, but shit, I've only been around since February. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, for agents, especially when you're targeting a specific neighborhood, we always say to agents, you want to own that neighborhood. Now, you've kind of been pretty aggressive, and you've gone and done it all in one big shot. And I mean,
yeah,
I'm
this
so
is a station realtor. I mean, this is like there's 1,100 realtors in this town, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the 5th image right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of.
And notice on that what you did there. So if Sam hadn't taken the time to take his image and overlay his branding in, which I'm sure if you reach out, he can tell you a little bit about how he did that. But he basically, as far as I know, is using Photoshop to do that.
That's just Photoshop.
Yeah, if he wasn't doing that, you wouldn't see him. But for anybody now searching these areas or these neighborhoods, they're going to see Sam over and over and over again. And the powerful thing about Google is it just never goes away. I mean, as long as people keep watching those YouTube videos, like the views just keep going up and up and up, and Google says, hey, this is good content. It's local content. It's very specific to this area. The content's probably going to show super high. And I would venture to say that for most of you that are watching this webinar today, above and beyond anything else we get into, if you can have one takeaway, I guarantee that a lot of agents are not doing this in your area. And if you just picked one neighborhood and focused on it and created some videos and some content around that, just like Sam's done, I mean, what will that mean to your business?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to just do one. I actually, when I started out, I had 22 targets and 22 on my spreadsheet, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. I'm like, man, I need to do that one. I need to do that one. So you don't have to do 55. Just do 5. Just start. Just start. Get the content up. Get the content out. Share it. I mean, look, 78 people saw it, but it was 78 more people than would have seen it. And that's kind of my thing. As long as somebody's seeing it, somebody cares, then it's worth putting out there. And you do get a bit a bipolar feeling when you spend an hour putting together stuff and 16 people see it. But it's just the nature of the beast. You have to have that content dripping out every day, every 2 days to put you top of mind. I mean, I got a listing from a broker the other week, and I'm like, man, you've got realtors work for you. What's the key? What's the kicker? What am I missing here? And he's like, honestly, my realtors are lazy. They don't want it. And if you want the truth, every time I turn on Facebook, all I see is you. So sell my house. I'm like, well, okay then. That's awesome. But that's how you have to do it. Just drip, drip, drip every single day.
Sam, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but you'd mentioned it earlier. I just think this is, before we transition, this is such a wonderful idea too. You do something with the local businesses too, right?
Oh yeah, let me grab that for you. So
this is such a good thing as a real estate agent to do.
They've all got followings, right? So you want to find a business that ideally will feed you, because most realtors are broke, and I can certainly attest to that. But you want to find somebody with a decent following and with something that they are giving away. So there's an incentive to share the video, right? So for example, let's see here. The last one we did, Blake's Steaks, or gift card giveaway. Let's just jump in this one real quick. And so what we do here is we create we go in and we create a custom video for these guys. Just run around, hold cameras, and eat dinner for free. And then I interview them, and they tell me about their restaurant. So what this does is it provides free marketing for them and their restaurant out to their subscribers, and we'll boost the post out of different accounts and whatever. I've actually got multiple accounts out of their accounts, whatever, just to build the brand and to put this brand in front of people, but for me, shooting this video for free, it took an hour to shoot. It took a couple of hours to edit. I got a free lunch. I got my brand in front of everybody. I got my face in front of everybody. I got my video shared out a bunch of times, and it was totally worth it. But this is free traffic for the sake of a 3-hour investment to get in front of 3, 4, 5,000 people, however many on that particular account. I know it says
but I would so encourage the business owner to put this up on their YouTube channel too, because it'll just keep growing. It'll help rank really high for them. And
yeah, but like a private school here, so I do stuff for this private school, and it's not like it's not amazing content. It's not, but it is just content. And so I tagged it with their brand. I put my brand in it, and there's some aerial shots of the country club where they're holding their events and stuff. And it got shared out and saw by 2,500 people that all go to private school or have the money to send their kids. So it's not like rocket science. You just go and do stuff for people that need it. And as long as they've got that audience, and then you put stuff up like a Facebook Live and it gets 90 views. You're like, great, well, that sucked. But then I put a listing up and it got 1,000 views. So that's great. And it's up and down. And this was a Facebook Live and it ended up with 630 views. This was a 14 views. Great. Well, that sucked, but whatever. It's content. It keeps you at the top of people's minds, and it keeps you in people's news feeds. And, unfortunately, there's, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. It's never been easier to get in front of people, but at the same time, it's never been harder. You've got to constantly keep up, coming up with new stuff, and keep putting the content out every day, every 2 days. Facebook and Instagram are super important.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's impressive. So maybe let's just set the stage a little bit for the StreetText side now as we transition. How in the world, as we kick off, how do you manage your time around all this?
Carefully. Yeah, I block time. You have to block time. I'm a huge fan of Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek. If you haven't read it, you probably should. I don't get commission from Tim for selling his books. But there are parts of the day where my phone's on silent. There's parts of the day where I set aside to deal with clients. There's parts of the day where I set aside to make phone calls. And you can't just jump one. You've got to block it out. Focus on what you're focusing on, and you'll get stuff done so much quicker. So my time management tip is manage your time. Don't just come in the office and go, right, what do I got to work on today? Have a list, block time out in your list, and try as hard as you can to stick to it. Because even though I know that I have to do it, the phone will buzz, and then all of a sudden you've got a lunch meeting that you didn't really want to go to, but you have to go to. And you've got a CMA that you've got to prepare that you didn't really want to do because you've got to get this done. But, it's not unusual right now to see me at the office after my kids go to bed, come back up here. But realistically, the best way to manage time is set your phone on silent. There's very few things in the real estate business that require an answer instantly. If people are demanding the right answers, then normally they're okay with waiting 30 minutes to an hour to get that answer. So you don't have to stop what you're doing directly. Set a task, do it, finish it, move on to the next one. Yeah. But the 4-hour work week really goes out of its way and outlines that, and really make a list of what you have to do and allocate the time and stick to it. And I know it's difficult, but as you progress, it becomes more of a habit.
So let's talk strategy. Seller leads. I know you're running some of our buyer stuff now too, but we won't touch on that. Let's really focus on the seller side. When a seller comes in, however it comes in from us or whatever you got going on your website or anything else, what do you do and how do you work those kind of leads?
Carefully. Right. Let's see here. First thing I do is I download everything to spreadsheet, and then I color code. So everything that is a full contact is yellow, and everything that is a partial contact is white. And you'll notice the partial contacts, they come in, it's just an address, so we don't have this information. But what I do is I jump on here, the tax office, I enter the address, and then it gives me the name. And, some properties will be rental properties and I'll waste the price of a stamp, but so what? So the first thing that I do is add everyone to these. If they have provided me with a phone number, I pick up the phone and call. There's a lot to be said about automation and text messages and sending out emails and sending out letters and all this other stuff. But if they have put down a phone number, you have to call. And I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit because people don't like calling on the phone. I don't like it. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing to do in the world. But try and remember back when you were in high school and you're at the dance, and there's a bunch of boys on one side of the room and a bunch of girls on the other side of the room. I don't know what kind of high school you all went to, but boys on one side, girls on the other side, right? And as a boy, you're hesitant to talk to the girl, even though you know the girls want to dance with the boys. So the clients kind of sort of want to dance with a realtor. You know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put that thing on a website. But at the same time, you're scared to pick up the phone and call them. And the only way you get better at talking to girls is by getting rejected by girls. Am I right?
Yeah, so
yeah.
True.
So the only way you're going to get better at talking to leads is getting rejected by leads. Pick up the phone, get rejected, take that lick. It hurts. It sucks. It's sometimes it physically hurts. It sucks, man. I hate being told, why the hell are you calling me? I didn't do this. I didn't fill this in. I'm like, well, yeah, you did, because your IP is kind of there. But I hate it. It sucks. It stings. It's the worst part of the business. But it's also the most critically important part. If they've put their phone number in, they are a girl or a boy at a middle school dance that wants to dance with a realtor, but they're too nervous to come across the dance floor. As that realtor, you have to walk onto the dance floor and hold out your hand and say, hey, come dance with me. And I think that's what a lot of us miss. It is absolutely vital that if there's a phone number in there, you reach out as quickly as you can. Don't stop what tasks you've blocked off, but set your time for your phone calls and your day and reach out to those new leads as quickly and as efficiently as you can. When I reach out to them, I like to have sent them the email already with the appraisal in it. So I can say, hey, yeah, this is Sam. I'm calling about the appraisal you asked for. Did you get a chance to look at my email yet? Instead of, yeah, this is Sam, I'm a realtor, I've already sent them something of value and I'm calling to check on it. So get your appraisal knocked out, get it emailed, and about an hour after you send out your emails, start making your phone calls and following up on those emails. And the ones that, I hope I'm not violating any privacy by all these phone numbers. Let's just hide that real quick. I probably should hide that too. But anyway, you know, you've got to take that plunge, and it does sting. Getting rejected. I hate it. I believe that I am the best option for every single client out there. I believe I should win every listing appointment I go to, and that's just not how the reality of it is. But do not be afraid to get rejected. You're gonna get rejected, and the more you talk to customers, the better able you can understand that rejection, and you can work through it, and you can sell around it, and you can get more and more and more contracts. That's kind of my advice there. Don't just send an email and wait, because you can't just fly a flag and say, I'm over here, come use me if you want me. You have to stand in front of these people. And one thing that strikes me, and that I think I said on the phone call in the prep for this webinar, is that, you know, people do not start conversations about real estate. They just don't. You don't just go and sit and talk to your mates and say about real estate, oh yeah, I'm thinking about selling my house. It's not a common conversation to be started. As a realtor, it's your job to start that conversation. So people don't start these conversations, you do. That's your job. You know that they're at the dance, you know that they're circling the floor wanting to talk to a realtor, but they're still not going to start that conversation. And a lot of times they're not going to start it after one email. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They take that one email, or they never follow up with a contact because they're scared. You know, it's 80% of sales, guys. 80% of sales are made after the sixth contact. Let that sink in a minute. Have you contacted everybody on your list 6 times? Even the white ones. The yellow guys, yeah, they're a little more ready to dance with a realtor. But the white guys too, they're ready. They filled out the form, right? They came through the lead funnel. So no, they didn't complete it all, and no, they're not going to be as hot as the yellow guys, but you still need to follow up with the white guys too. I mean, so what I do is my yellows, I call, email the appraisal. You know, sometimes I get a hold of them, sometimes I don't. And sometimes they're just curious, sometimes they're looking, sometimes they want an appointment. You know, most of the time they don't. That's okay. What StreetText is it's the planting of seeds that you are responsible for farming and growing and loving and nurturing. And go back to that statistic: 80% of people aren't going to buy until at least the 6th contact. So what I do is I send them all a handwritten card that looks like this.
Maybe share your screen for a second so people can see it. I don't want them to miss out on how cool this is.
What do you want to see?
Oh, do you have one of your cards in front of you?
Yeah, this is.
But if you unshare your screen, that can make it nice and big so people can see.
Hold on. Yeah, this is how cheap this is. This is not a high dollar thing. I use these cards, and then I use an ink pen on my scribbly handwriting from high school, and it basically says, "Hey, you know what? If you're still interested in the value of your home, I'd be happy to help. All the best." And then to the guys, I send. I don't think I've got a spare one here. But to the guys that say, the yellow guys, I send one, hey, I just wanted to drop a quick note and follow up with the email, with the property valuation I emailed. So I send that, and then it's just another point of contact. Now, as we touched on in the phone call, I don't want to reinvent the real estate wheel here. So there's a roadmap laid out for real estate success when it comes to mailing lists. And aside from the internet stuff, for the offline marketing stuff, I find Gary Keller one of the smartest guys. The Keller Williams has become the biggest brand for a reason, and he has blueprints for exactly how to do this. So, okay, so they get
Millionaire Real Estate Agent. If you guys are wondering, it's like a must-read, and I would say for almost every business. But it's obviously super specific for real estate. I enjoyed it as well.
So these are very similar. What I want to share here real quick, I'm just going to move these over. They're very similar to Donna's letters, Donna Swansea. So you can see that, but it's branded, and then website along the top. And then as we move down, I'm not sure you can see that. So it just says, hey, I'm writing because there's a couple of blanks. Do you want in? And then I sign at the bottom. I always sign in ink, and it looks real nice. And yeah, I send that out with a market report, and I've just started sliding in featured listings flyer. So I'm marketing the properties that I've got listed to the guys on my mailing list that are looking to sell houses, because it costs me 15 cents a page to print full color and put a listing flyer in there. So now my thing includes a handwritten card, a business card, the letter saying, hey, if you still want this valuation, I just need a couple more bits of information from you, give me a shout. And then it includes a market report for the month, and then it includes my featured listings. And then what happens with these guys is they either reach out through email and stuff happens, or I drop them then into the newsletter funnel. And the newsletter funnel goes out every month. And I'm right now, from February 20th, I'm just over 600 subscribers to the newsletter. And they kind of maybe don't know they're subscribed, but they filled out their information, and they are what classifies as met contacts, because they've seen the website, they've seen the brand, and they filled out a form. So they're not completely cold. It's not like I'm just picking up a subdivision and throwing mail at it. They already know who Your BCS Properties is, because they've seen the website, they've seen the brand, they've seen the Facebook, and they came through that traffic funnel. So I send them all a letter, and you've got to go back to that 80% after the sixth contact. They've got to know who you are. People only ever sell a house every 5 to 7 years. So you have to bear in mind that, according to Keller statistics, for every 50 people on your list, every 12 pieces of mail should yield one listing, right? One seller listing.
That's over the course of a year. So you have to see them 12 times over that course of a month.
You should yield one listing for every 50 people. So let's say my mailouts are $1 a piece, okay? And I've got 600 subscribers now. If I stop at 600 subscribers, I'm going to spend $7,200 this year on marketing material.
Over and above,
to get on my mailing list, to get 600 people touched 12 times. It's going to cost me $7,200. But 600 people should yield between 10 and 14 listings, so it should average 12 listings. My average commission per sale here is $7,500. So spending $7,200 should open up a minimum of $75,000 in revenue. It's just, you have the difference between advertising and marketing. Advertising is putting it up. Marketing is making it consistent and keeping the message strong, keeping the message going. And if you do this for a month and then you stop, well, good luck. There goes your month. It's not something you can switch off. It's got to be followed up with. It's got to be consistent. The content has to be there. The newsletter has to be there. And what I've started doing with the newsletter is I've tracked down 4 different local restaurants that will give us free appetizer coupons. So basically, chips and queso cost the restaurant $2, but it puts, I can market this saying everybody on my list is over 28, they're a homeowner, and they're all here in town, and it's going to bring traffic to your restaurant. It's not going to bring college kids. It's not going to bring a homeless guy who's just going to sit and eat queso forever. This is going to give you, it's going to put bums in seats. It's going to give you a chance to upsell margaritas, cocktails, and a full meal, and you don't have to pay for any of it. Your only risk is $2. Well, once they are kind of integrated into the program, then you come back and you can charge $200 to feature in the mailing list that month, knowing that, hey, it's going out to 2,000 people and they're going to get 50 extra covers that month, right? And then you start offsetting that mailing list cost and your mailing cost by selling the advertising space in the mailing list. So, for example, I've got a title lady right here who is going in the mailing list for a fee. I've got a mortgage lady that wants to go in the mailing list for a fee. So she's going out to my 600 people right now, and she's being put in the mail out, but it reduces my cost from $1 a piece to 80 cents a piece.
I don't know why more people, I never really hear much about that. And that's so genius. That's such a smart way of offsetting. You're already spending all this money to build up this list. Yeah. There's people that are showing intent, and you want to.
I don't want to sell my list. That's my list. I don't want to sell the list, but I will sell space inside of the mailers. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the guys that spend a little more money and produce like the big brokers that produce the little magazines, they pay for the magazines by advertising space in the magazines. And ideally, yes, I'd like to print a magazine. once we start getting more listings and enough listings to carry a magazine, I'd love to print a magazine, because you can offset 90% of the cost of your mailouts and your magazines by selling targeted ad space to the right individuals. And you have a valid list of people that are, that come through your Facebook funnel that fit the demographics that you target in Facebook, which for me is over 28 years old, homeowners, and within a 30-mile radius of town. And that is extremely valuable to these service businesses and these money lenders and all the other things that are associated with people moving house. Hey, I need a pest guy. Hey, I need a pool guy. Hey, I need an insurance guy. Boom. And you can sell them space in the newsletter.
It's so genius because you're adding value often in that, and you're actually being compensated to add value. But from the client's perspective, or the lead, the person and the homeowner, if it's done nicely, they're actually receiving that value as well. And so, that's really, really genius.
They know next month, oh, hey, man, Sammy put us a queso coupon in last month. I wonder what's in there this month. And they will get a hold of that. They'll open it. And whether they read it or not, they still opened it. They saw my envelope. They saw my brand. They took out the coupon. The coupon's got my brand on it. Boom. I don't care if they read the newsletter or not. I don't care. What I care about is them seeing the brand and having that brand being at the top of their mind again and again and again. So that one time in 5 years when they're ready to do something, I'm the brand they think of.
So how big do you want to list? What's your goal?
I don't know. I just moved offices like last week, so my goal sheet's gone. But no, when I started this, I was actually hired by a broker to teach marketing. I went in and I was doing the marketing videos for realtors, and I thought, well, I'll go and stand in front of them and see if they want to buy some videos. The broker was just enamored with my presentation, and they paid me a lot of money to stand in front of realtors and teach them marketing. And I realized, I always thought a realtor, I didn't know about the business until I started dealing with realtors. I always thought realtors were super successful. They had a ton of money and they drove nice cars and all this other stuff. And when I got in the room with them, I was like, man, okay, they do need some training here. And then I started looking into it, and there's not one team here in this town. There's 1,100 realtors. There's not one team controls more than 1.4% of the market. There is not one team responsible for more than 240 transactions a year. And I'm like, man, that's 20 a month. That's doable. I can generate 10 leads a day. From 10 leads a day, I can set 2 appointments a day. From 2 appointments a day, I can close 1. And there's 20 working days in a month, so I should be able to hit 20 closed deals a month. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. And that was my thought behind it. It's quite a bit more difficult than that in reality. It is. There's a lot of work goes into it. But, I've been doing it, 9 weeks, and total listings now are at $3.52 million.
That's awesome. Well done.
And there's some help. There's people kicking in. I have pulled on an assistant a couple of weeks ago, and then I got a very talented young lady to help me out with buyer leads about a week ago. So we've just kind of started integrating that. So we'll get that as it comes. But for the first 10 weeks, I've already achieved more than 80% of realtors achieving their career just from using StreetText and backing it up. The most important thing is having the validation and then just not letting go of that lead. Once you realize they're on the dance floor, then you got to go and ask for the dance. And a lot of times you got to ask girls several times before they'll dance with you. And it's the same with leads. You've got to touch them 5, 6, 7, 8 times and keep going back to that statistic. 80% of sales are made after that 6th contact.
And I love that you look over there, because I know you said that it's actually on your wall, right? You've got it up there.
That's right.
And I'll see if I can find a quick screenshot that I had yesterday.
There's a note from my kid pinned over it, so he loves me, which I keep constantly. And there it is. There's the sales statistics. And I'll read them off real quick. 48% of salespeople never follow up with the prospect. And I pin it to my wall because it reminds me on the days I don't want to call people, on the days I just want to put my head in my hands and say, I'm tired of real estate today. I'm tired of being a realtor. I'm tired of showing these houses. I went to one this morning. I swear I got bit so many times by mosquitoes on the back of my hand. Had to go get some cortisone and rub it on. I don't want to do that, And then I look over here and it reminds me. 25% of salespeople make contact a second time and then stop. So they send an email, they send a voicemail, and they stop, and that's it. 12% of salespeople make 3 contacts and then stop, and the list just goes on. And the final statistic is the most important: 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact, and that's why it's pinned there. That's why it's right above my desk, so I can just, when I'm having a bad time, just look up, go right on. Got to get to contact number 6, contact number 7. You just got to keep going, and that's. Oh, we've lost you. Don't know where you went. There you are.
Sorry, I was actually trying to find an image really quick to support that, but I ended up. But basically, it was showing that the probability of success, from the 3rd attempt, it was like 50%, and then by the time it's 60%.
I'll try to hold it there. If you can see
by the 9th attempt or something, your probability is at something like 90% that you're going to get a hold of somebody, but the probability that a salesperson is going to follow up is actually at 0.
Yeah.
It has completely dropped off, and I think that. We definitely get a lot of clients that come through, and I understand it. And they say, I'm just looking for leads that are ready to transact right now.
Doesn't exist.
And I think the hard part is that everybody would love that if they could be consistent. The difference that separates, you might get lucky and have somebody that just, says, hey, come over and list my home right now, or come over and sell my home right now. It's a sign. But the reality is that, if people wait for those, they're not going to do very well in the business because, like you said, that really that's just an anomaly. Where you're building up this email list, you're building up this mail list, you see value in the long term. You see a business that you're building. And it literally breaks my heart sometimes when you see some agents that come through and get really good results. They have unbelievable, like they're building up a database, but they don't have a CRM. They don't even have an Excel spreadsheet.
Right.
They just kind of let it all die. And it really isn't that hard to just put a few systems around those leads and begin to work them and nurture them. But I think more than anything else, it probably comes down to perspective and mindset. So how did you get that mindset to think that, hey, just like your example of your analogy of the dance floor, how did you start to think, I'm the best person for these leads and these leads want to talk to me? Like, how do you remind yourself of that? Well, you could so easily also take another perspective that says they're not interested. Facebook's a scam, or you know what I mean. You've probably heard it all as well.
The mindset. I got asked to train other realtors, and it just was like, wow. Coming from owning my own online business, coming from oil and gas law. I just over 10 years in Texas title law. So. Whilst I was waiting to teach my first class, the person finishing up in front of me was teaching the title class. I'm like, man, this is like Title 101. I could teach this to trainees. This is super easy. And so having that experience, and then having the marketing experience, and then having the digital media experience, and man, I genuinely believe I'm the best option. I genuinely believe that my marketing packages and what I can do and my knowledge, it smokes the average realtor. So it's not like, yeah, it's conceited. Sure it is, but I can back it up. Look at my website. I genuinely believe I'm the best option to sell your house. So I don't have to stand in front of these people and be nervous. I don't have to stand in front of them and lie. I don't have to do anything. I believe, like, honest to God, I'm the best choice here. I've got the best videos that you'll ever see. I've got Matterport that I use on every single listing. We go and do the little virtual reality tours. I've got marketing experience for writing these posts. I've got social media experience. I've got traffic buying experience. I believe I'm going to sell your house. So it's not like I don't know. I just think I'm the best.
But what about the whole planting the seed and then nurturing a concept? Like, where does that come from? How did you develop those skills? Was that from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Was that from that book? Or where did you get that concept of, of not overlooking the fact that it needs some water? And if you just keep watering it over a period of time, eventually that, there's going to be a little sprout. And then before you know it, you've got a client.
Yeah, the guy's name was Greg Davis. If you look him up, he's a huge affiliate marketer. Back in the day when I met him was 2013. I asked him, I said, we were sitting at a bar in New York, and I said, Greg, what's the secret, man? Come on, what's everybody promoting? Help me out here. How do you do it? And he was like, I got one word for you, man. Lists. I'm like, really? And all of a sudden started to click. Well, I got invited from some of the work I'd done to work with a company in Kansas City called Revive Media, and they were really big on app installs. So again, it was about targeting traffic to a point where if somebody clicks on something and clicks off it, it costs you the same as if somebody clicks on something, goes into a funnel, signs up for a list, and then clicks off it, right? Costs you the exact same for the click. So meeting Greg Davis and working with these guys at Revive Media and all my time in the affiliate world, it taught me that control of the click was more important than the cost of the click. And the end destination of that click needs to be something that you can retarget and remarket to and put them onto the list. And it's from there that you nurture that list into a paid customer. It never goes click, click, buy. Seldom goes click, click, buy. When you are shopping for a realtor, it very seldom goes phone call, click, list. It just doesn't work that way. You take your click, you put it into a funnel that's going to provide value to the lead, and it's going to capture their information. And the information is what you use to remarket to that click and keep that moving. You know, otherwise, if you don't do that, it's click on, click off, done. It still costs you $2 for that click, but where's your money gone? Whereas you have to control that click and put it in there. And that's what you're buying. You're buying that seed, and you're buying the ability to remarket to that seed and recontact that seed. You know it's a real estate seed. They've come through a real estate funnel. It's up to you to nurture that seed and close it. And that's what it taught me. It's like you can either, it costs the same for a click. If you do not capture that data, it's wasted money. And that's what it, and obviously reading the Gary Keller stuff and reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and all that, it just reinforces the fact that building those databases and building those lists of people you've worked with and people you've met and marketing to those lists is 100 times more effective than just dropping a marketing bomb somewhere and hoping somebody picks something up, you know? So it's all about knowing who's going to be in the market and nurturing those people. And that starts with, I believe, with a good funnel and with what StreetText is doing.
You know, just to maybe transition, and we'll close, and I'll share a little bit with how you can try this out if you'd like. But Gary Keller, you know, in that book, when he interviews all those big, successful millionaire real estate agents, they all do this at some capacity within their business. They have things set up just like Sam has, where there's all this traffic coming to his website, or he has mechanisms like StreetText in place that are generating leads, and then they build their list. For them, it's exciting to see that their email list is growing, their mailing list is growing, right? And then every time they have a client, now they have a past client, and that list is growing, and then the referrals grow from that. And that's really, they just look at it from that approach, and it's all about building those numbers up. And if you can just tap into one or even just two areas where you can start to generate traffic, and you can start to build mailing lists or email lists. I mean, everybody wants a phone number, but you know, even with just those two, you can do some serious damage if you're following the principles and the things that Sam's been talking about. I
didn't invent them. They're all written down. They're all in books. They're all on the internet. I did not invent this. I don't claim it at all. It's just my experience has led to this point. But it's all stuff that I've read on how to succeed in real estate. And, you know, I actually got Gary Keller's book Shift the other week about how to succeed in a down market. And I'm already doing all the stuff he talks about, how to succeed in the down market.
I'm going to read that book, actually. I'm going to write that down.
Shift.
Another good read.
Mm-hmm. So, I do a lot of audiobooks. I'm in the car a lot.
Yeah, so. Yeah, same as me.
When I say read, it's kind of read.
Exactly what I do. It's amazing. You can how much you can listen to in the course of even a month or a week in your car.
Yeah.
So for all of you that are on here today, I mean, obviously there's a lot of value here. I can see that we'll be featuring Sam again in the days to come. Just to even, I mean, you saw, I mean, from his website to his marketing to his videos to how he works his leads, his mindset, his time management, is a lot in here. And I kudos to you. I mean, you've really only been in the business a few months, and
yeah,
blown away with the dent that you're already making.
Well, I'd like some of the money back. But it'll come. I mean, I've had calls today on showings and stuff, so it'll come. And I got a text this morning from a guy I barely know, and he's just like, "Hey man, I know you're from the Cigar Lounge. I want to make an offer on this property. Can you meet me out there tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, buddy. just text out of nowhere, just from constant content. And the cigar lounge, so I put on a steaks and cigars event. My buddy needed help marketing it, and I did the marketing for free in exchange for the top sponsorship spot. And my marketing sold out all 60 tickets in under a week, and we made a profit. And I got to be in the top spot for 60 guys who have $150 to come and smoke cigars and eat steak. And that's a clientele that you want to be in front of. And it's, again, fusion marketing, or I forget what the other term is for it, but you find a business that caters to clientele that you are wanting to be in front of, like the private school, like the cigar lounge, and you make content for them and make content with them, and you get instant access to their audience for free. That's kind of how I'm trying to grow my page and grow my page likes and grow my fan base. And, page likes aren't really a huge metric on Facebook, but they're a very nice way to keep score. And, since February 20th, we've got 276 likes, which is better than none. And, eventually it'll push up past 1,000 likes or whatever. But my page likes aren't nearly as important as my mailing list. Not nearly as important. Because, if you expand on that goal, 5,000 names on that list. That's my goal by this time next year. Just keep pushing. Get 5,000 names on that list. 5,000 names hit 12 times, right? It's 60 grand a year. That's what I'm spending in stamps and envelopes and everything else. But that 60 grand will yield 100 listings with an average commission of $7,500. So that 60 grand outlay is going to put me in the 750,000 GCI ballpark, which for 60 grand seems like a really good return on investment. So my goal is just push that mailing list, and in the first 12 months, try and knock it up to 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers and keep going.
That's awesome. We have a big quote in our office, and we always say activity breeds results, because sometimes the direct activity that you did, you don't even get the result from that activity. It came from something else you did or you didn't even know. But I swear, if you just sit in the chair and maybe just worry or stress out, nothing comes. You go and do something, and lo and behold, something starts to come to you. And
I've done stupid Facebook Lives sitting in my car or sitting on a swing at the park. It doesn't matter. Just talk for 2 or 3 minutes. Hey, I'm out here at Austin's Colony Park today. We're checking it out. Let's walk around, and boom, you've done a content video in a local park, and it only took 3 or 4 minutes. I have a DJI Osmo that I use. It's about a $500 camera. Highly recommend it. But if you don't want to spring to that, the bare minimum you should do is jump on Amazon and grab one of the motorized cell phone stabilizers. Mine's down in the car. So I shoot from my Osmo, but I shoot from my cell phone as well. And that cell phone stabilizer for $120 will make your Facebook Lives it will make them stop jumping around and make them stand out. And it just... People like Facebook Lives, but they don't like this jumping all over. So it's well worth the $120 or whatever it was.
So I have a quote for you because as I've listened to you and thought about you, this is the quote I have for you. Especially since you're branding. Think about your branding; it's always so key. For Sam Smith, hustle until you no longer have to introduce yourself. That's definitely the quote I feel like for you, because you're working so hard on your brand and you're building up everything that you're doing from the video and just including even the name, like you said, it's not even your own name. Right. And you don't even have to introduce yourselves anymore. So
that's kind of the plan. It takes time, and it's very difficult to sit here and pour this much in and not see the results I want to see, because I measure myself by some stupid standard that says, hey, I want to be the biggest realtor in town by this date, and well, I'm not right now, and it's kind of like annoying. But when you see that in 3 months I've outperformed what most realtors do their entire careers, well, I'm okay with that. You've just got to look at it from the right perspective, from the right angle. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. There are days when I am exhausted, but you just have to keep pushing. You have to keep up the branding. You have to keep up the mailing list, and you have to keep feeding that funnel. And one of the biggest things I feed my funnel with is StreetText leads, and they've worked great so far, and I don't intend to stop.
So for any of you on the right-hand side, you should see a start 7-day test if you're looking to test out your market. If you go through it, you'll see that there's a $99 charge, and how that works is $63 of that is actually dedicated to Facebook, so it's $9 a day. And then 7 days is really an opportunity just to kind of see how your market performs. So, and then the rest of that is about $36 comes to StreetText, and we obviously set up and run the campaign for you. You're going to be talking to some nice team members over that 7 days just so you can really learn how your ad's performing and get orientated. So, and then after that, if it's a fit for you and it's going to make sense, then you can continue. But if not, there's no commitment going forward. It's really up to you. Yeah.
That's it. Do it. I can't say enough good things about it. It's not for the faint-hearted. I mean, if nothing will work unless you work. If you don't touch the leads, you'll fail. If you don't organize the leads, you'll fail. If you don't reach out to the leads, you'll fail. If you don't mail the leads, you'll fail. But by God, if you work the leads, everybody's at the dance. Everybody's there. So that's my advice. Try it for a week.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Sam. Stick with me here for a minute. But for everyone else that came, I think Elise has been answering your questions that we've been going through. So thanks, Elise, for doing that. And just thanks for your attention, your time here. We're always really just, any of you that take the time out of your busy days to listen and learn something new, kudos to you, because your business is growing, and we're happy to have you here. So thanks so much. And I'll just end this event.